Here's a fun game to play at the movies. Before you take your seat for the new Matt Damon sci-fi comedy Downsizing, take a guess at where you think the movie will end up. The closest guess wins a free dinner or $1,000,000 or whatever the prize. Doesn't matter because neither you nor your buddies will guess anywhere near what actually happens. Downsizing is a new sci-fi comedy written and directed by Alexander Payne, the man behind such heartfelt Loki Treats Us Sideways and The Descendants. It begins with an exciting breakthrough in technology as scientists discover a way to shrink people down to 5 inches tall, which of course shrinks their carbon footprint and their impact on the environment at the same time. Payne engagingly explores this technology and the new world it creates, and then, well, just kind of keeps going. What starts off feeling like a lighter episode of Black Mirror heads off on an unexpected and very lengthy tangent. Matt Damon stars as Paul Safranik, a schlubby everyman from a quiet corner of Omaha. Struggling with money and frustrated aspirations, he and his wife, played by Kristen Wiig, come around to the idea of being shrunk down to miniature size. When you're a few inches tall, $1 buys a lot more. Even a multiple-room mansion or a diamond necklace are affordable when they're teeny-tiny. And so we head for the miniaturized town of Leisureland, an idyllic community of tiny people in tiny houses under a protective bubble to keep out insects. Matt Damon and director Alexander Payne take on the small-minded in Downsizing. Mary W. Wallace Payne hilariously puts the shrinking process and shrunken world under the microscope. The cheerfully surreal first half of the film is packed with sight gags and lovely comic detail, like a regular-sized clip-on lapel microphone becoming a huge mic for a shrunken scientist, or full-sized nurses carefully spooning newly miniaturized little people onto tiny stretchers with special spatulas. But obviously things don't go to plan for our mini-heroes, who soon find the problem with starting a new life as you bring your old problems right along with you. Hong Chow and Christoph Waltz gleefully steal the second half of Downsizing, which played during the 2017 BFI London Film Festival. John Phillips Payne's fictional solution to environmental problems slyly suggests people will only make positive changes if there is something in it for them. And the film examines the idea that we all live in a bubble, comfortably unchallenging of our prejudices and blissfully ignorant of the wider world's problems. Yes, it does this by literally putting the characters in an actual bubble, but it's realized with such charm and so many great gags that, well, forgive how on the nose it is. Once miniaturized, Damon's character finally begins to see the invisible lines that divide society, noticing the haves and have-nots for the first time. As well as covering the environment, the mini-metaphor allows the film to touch on healthcare, migration, consumerism, globalization and other hot topics. Interesting as this is, the film kind of starts again halfway through. Clocking in at 135 minutes, you could practically split Downsizing into 2 movies, so disjointed is the second half from the first. Wiig and Jason Sudeikis are both prominently featured in the first part of the film, only to shrink from view in the second, leaving us with just Damon's amiable loser to carry on. The problem is he's deliberately boring, an example of the small-minded small fry who would benefit from enlarging their horizons. Fortunately, Christoph Waltz and Hong Chow turn up to provide some big laughs in the small world, but having spent so long on the setup, the spiraling second half soon outstays its welcome. The laughs dry up for something more worthy before tipping over into frankly baffling, setting up an ending you almost certainly won't see coming. Downsizing opens in Australia and the US in December, and the UK in January. It certainly has big ambitions, even if the wandering story could do with being cut down to size. Tech culture from film and television to social media and games, here's your place for the lighter side of tech. Batteries not included. The CNET team shares experiences that remind us why tech stuff is cool.